Every morning, your CPAP machine gives you a leak number. I mean, you look at it, you nod thoughtfully, and you pretend, yeah, I know what it means. 7.4, interesting. I mean, you have no idea whether that's good, bad, or whether the machine's prediction is for tomorrow's weather. But here's the part that surprises most people. Your CPAP mask is actually supposed to leak. Yes, that air blowing out in front of your mask, don't cover it. Don't tape it, and definitely don't stick your finger over it and say, aha, I've found the problem. Because this isn't the problem at all. And today I'm going to explain what your CPAP leak number actually means, when you should care about it, and why chasing a leak rate of 0 may actually be making your nights worse. But before we can understand the number, we have to first understand your machine and what it's actually measuring. Hi, I'm Brandon from Parkway Sleep. Every week I explain sleep and CPAP topics in plain English, without making them sound like instructions for assembling furniture. And leak numbers might be one of the most misunderstood parts of CPAP therapy. People see a number that isn't 0 and they immediately assume something is wrong. But a leak number by itself doesn't tell the whole story. Let's start with the biggest misconception of all, because if you miss this part, nothing else about the leak numbers will make sense. Every CPAP mask has small vent holes. They're usually near the front of the mask or around the connection where the tube attaches. Those vents have an important job. They allow air to breathe out, including carbon dioxide, allowing it to leave the mask. That airflow, it's normal. It's actually intentional, and it should never be blocked. So when you hold your hand over the front of your mask and feel a steady stream of air, that doesn't actually mean that your mask seal is bad. It may simply be that the mask is doing exactly what it's designed to do. CPAP machines and masks are built to account for expected airflow. Think of it like the exhaust pipe on your car. Air coming out, it's normal. Exhaust pipe dragging down the highway behind you, well, that's a totally different problem. So if your CPAP mask is supposed to leak, why does your machine keep giving you a leak number at all? Because not all leaks are the same. There are really two types of airflow people that commonly call a leak. The first is intentional venting. That's the normal air leaving through the mask ventilation holes. The second is unintentional leak. That's the air escaping somewhere it shouldn't. Maybe around the cushion, maybe through your mouth, or while you're wearing that nasal mask. Maybe from the tubing that has a tiny hole in it, or maybe your mask shifted when you rolled over, and now it's blowing air into your spouse's face. Congratulations, you accidentally created a bedside wind tunnel. Now that unintentional leak is the number we gotta be concerned about. Now that we know which leaks actually matter, let's talk about the number that your machine is reporting. So what does that number actually mean? And this is where things can get confusing because different manufacturers may calculate and display leaks differently. Some machines try to estimate the unintentional leak after accounting for the mask expected venting. Other reports may show leak data in a completely different format. And that's why comparing numbers from two different brands or even two different apps isn't always apples to apples. I mean, for the ResMed devices, the commonly referenced guideline for the unintentional leak should generally remain below 24 liters per minute. ResMed's AirSense 11 guide also identifies the mask seal below 24 liters per minute as good. But here's the important part. This does not mean one brief moment above 24 automatically ruins your entire night. I mean, maybe you scratched your nose, maybe you rolled over, maybe your mask briefly lifted, or maybe your dog stepped on the hose. We have to look at the overall pattern, not panic over one moment. And unfortunately, that's exactly what a lot of us do with our CPAP. We see one higher number and immediately decide that we need to eliminate every bit of the leak. But that's where people accidentally make things way worse. I mean, a lot of CPAP users become obsessed with getting their leak numbers to 0. So they tighten their mask, and then they tighten it again, and then they tighten it even more, until their face looks like it was shrink wrapped. But the tighter is not always better. When you over tighten your mask, you start to crush that cushion. You actually prevent it from inflating properly. And sometimes you make that leak worse and worse. You can also leave pressure marks. You can cause skin irritation and discomfort that makes you less likely to keep the mask on. Manufacturers specifically advise that headgear should be secure, but not excessively tight. Sometimes loosening or simply reseating the cushion actually improves the seal. Now the goal here isn't perfection. The goal is to be stable and have a comfortable seal. That really allows your therapy to work while you stay asleep. Because a technically perfect mask that you rip off after 45 minutes isn't all that helpful. So if 0 isn't the goal, what should we actually be watching for? Well, fortunately, your machine and your body usually give you some pretty obvious clues. There's really 5 signs for your leak that deserve attention. Number 1 is that air is repeatedly blowing in your eyes. I mean, that obviously can disturb your sleep, it can dry or irritate your eyes, and it usually means that air is escaping around the upper part of the cushion. Number 2, your machine repeatedly reports a poor mask seal, or your leak stays high for long portions of the night. I mean, one brief spike probably doesn't matter, but a leak that continues for hours is a totally different story. Number 3, you're waking up with severe dry mouth. Now that can happen for several reasons, but with a nasal mask specifically, it may be a sign that your air is actually escaping through your mouth. Severe mask leak can also contribute to dry mouth and reduced treatment effectiveness. Number 4, your AHI or your therapy results suddenly look worse. Now at the same time, your mask leaks will increase. Large leaks can make it harder for your machine to maintain therapy and accurately track what's happening. And that doesn't prove that the leak caused every event, but the combination is worth having reviewed. And number 5 is the leak keeps waking you up or makes you want to stop using CPAP altogether. Maybe it's whistling, maybe it's fluttering, maybe there's air blasting. The mask making the tiny squealing noise that somehow becomes the loudest sound in the universe at 2 o'clock in the morning. Even when the therapy numbers look acceptable, a leak that repeatedly starts to interrupt your sleep still matters. And if any of those sound familiar, don't panic. Most leaks aren't caused by a defective machine. They usually don't mean that you need a different mask entirely either. In fact, the fix is often surprisingly simple. Common causes include a mask that's positioned incorrectly, the wrong cushion size, the headgear that's just too tight, or maybe it's too loose, or a worn out cushion. Maybe even facial oils are interrupting the seal, movement during sleep, mouth leak while using your nasal mask, or tubing and connections that aren't fully secure. A poor fit, incorrect adjustment, worn components, and the wrong mask size of any type are all common causes identified by manufacturers. So before you order 17 new masks and create a CPAP graveyard in your closet, just start with the basics. Check the fit, inspect the cushion and tubing, make sure everything is connected, and fit the mask while you're lying down in your normal sleeping position with the machine running. A mask that fits beautifully while you're standing in the bathroom mirror may have completely different plans once your head starts to hit the pillow. But even after you fix the basics, there's one mistake I see people make all the time. They start comparing their leak numbers to someone else. I mean, someone will post, hey, my leak was 3.2 last night. And suddenly you're staring at your 14 thinking your CPAP is about to explode. It isn't. Different systems may report leak data differently. And even on the same system, I mean, your overall pattern, your comfort, your mask type, and your therapy results, they matter far more than winning the lowest leak competition. I mean, there is no trophy. There is no podium. No one is spraying champagne because your leak was 0.4. At the end of the day, this is what I really want you to remember. Your CPAP mask is supposed to vent air. A leak number of above 0 isn't automatically bad. What matters is whether unintentional leak is excessive, persistent, disrupting your sleep, or interfering with your therapy. And for ResMed users, 24 liters per minute is a commonly referenced threshold for excessive unintentional leak. And remember, that mysterious 17.4 we talked about at the beginning, now you know by itself, it doesn't really mean very much. And please, don't respond to every leak by cranking those straps tighter. Your mask should be secure. It should not feel like you're preparing your face for hurricane season. So I wonder, have you ever looked at your leak number and had absolutely no idea what it meant? Tell me what your number is or what message you're seeing on your machine in the comments. I read as many as I can and I'll respond to all of them. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.